How is it going then, everybody? I hope you're all doing very well. Welcome back to another video here on our channel. I'm the FIFA Analyst, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my custom tactics post-patch in FIFA 20. EA have recently gone ahead and dropped another patch and gone and changed team press and overload ball side. Team press is a little bit stronger now, and overload ball side, we just don't want to play it, guys. It drains your stamina too much, so just stay clear from that. So we do these obviously on a regular basis because you guys ask me a lot. What have I changed? What have I tweaked? And I do tweak things on a regular basis. So what we're going to go through and do is just go through and talk to you about each individual custom tactic, from my tactic to see out a game, my tactic that is my tactic that I start the game with, my tactic if I need to get a goal, and then my tactic which is like all out attack, you know, busting to get 2 or 3 goals later on in the game. That's what we're going to go ahead and do. If you do enjoy the video, please let me know by dropping a like. You can subscribe to the channel. We do upload every single day at 5 PM, and we are also streaming every single day as well, so make sure you come on over to there, a link in the description for that. Now I'm going to clear something up for you guys because some people get confused with this. Right, the team here is 4-3-2-1. The reason for that is it gets me 100 chemistry. Okay, when you go to custom tactics and then when you go to edit game plans by clicking L2 or LT on Xbox, it gives you these options. What you can do now is you can click defensive, you can then go into formations, and you can change the formation to whatever you want. And what it means is that you still have 100 chemistry on all of your players, because so many of you guys put in the comment section the video says 4-2-3-1, but you're not doing that. It says 4-3-2-1 before there. That is the reason why. All right, does that make sense? It's called game plans. It means you can go into the game, use a D-pad by going over, clicking to defensive on the left on the D-pad, right on the D-pad, and so on. I hope that clears it up. Right, let's go ahead and talk to you about my tactic to see out a game. Now obviously team press is quite strong. People can press you now quite easily, to be honest. They don't really need to know how to press themselves, which is a little bit silly, but EA have made it that way, so it is what it is. My normal go-to was a variation of 4-3-3. I've actually gone back to the 4-2-3-1 on this, so let's go through and talk to you about it. So for the width wise, we're going to go on 4. That's one of my go-to widths across the whole of these formations, to be honest with you. And then for the depth, it's going to be 3. I talk about this a lot. Depth, I do vary it from. You'll see that some of the other tactics is a lot higher, but for me, when I'm trying to see out a game, I don't want my team unnecessarily moving up the field and giving space in behind, but I don't want to be so deep that we invite pressure. So I definitely don't go with 1. 3 or 4 here will do absolutely perfect for you. This is in the 4-2-3-1 formation that we're going to be using. Now we're going to go for possession as the offensive style. The reason for this is I want to have players coming and showing for the ball. I don't want them going in and getting behind. If I want them to go running behind down the wing, for example, I will tap L1, LB, whichever one it is, on Xbox or PS4, to send that player on a run in behind, and they will go ahead and do that. And then for the width, I go for 5 on the attack. Reason for this is that I just want to transition from defense to attack. I want my players to at least be spread out to a neutral amount. I don't want them so wide that they're hugging the touchline and there's no one in the middle. I don't want them to be so narrow that there's only people in the middle and not spaces that wide. 5 is the absolute balance for this. Players in box, this was the same as the one before. We go for 1 on that. Reason being, I'm trying to see out a game. I don't need players to go and get in the box. I'm not after another goal. So that's the 4-2-3-1 with this team. This is how I would run it, just so you've got that for your knowledge as well. Moving over to the instructions, relatively simple, if I'm honest with you. If I had a better keeper, by the way, if I didn't have Areola on this team, I would do comes for crosses and sweeper keeper as well on the saving outside the box. I really, really like that on people like ter Stegen, Alisson, Lloris, for example. But with Areola, he's not very good, so we don't do it there. Stay back while attacking, overlap on the fullbacks. We don't want them going forward unnecessarily. The centre backs you leave as is. For the 2 CDMs, we're going to do cut passing lane, stay back while attacking, and cover centre on both of them. Idea is we just want them to stay back. We don't need them to go forward. We don't need them to get out of position. And then for our cams, for my middle one, I just have them unbalanced. I want them to come back and defend. I want them to go forward and attack when the time is right. For my outer cams, though, I want them to come back on defense. I want them to make a brick wall, basically. I want them to make it very, very hard to get past those 2 CDMs, that right attacking mid, that left attacking mid, and for them to contribute in the defensive duties. And then for my striker, because it's Ben Yedder, I have them on balance here. Say if this was someone like Ronaldo and Mbappe, you might want to have these on getting behind. Because this is 83 Ben Yedder, later on in the game, he's not going to have that much stamina to go through, get in behind the back line and obviously put some pressure on. I want him to just make the decision whether to come short, get in behind, whatever he wants to do given the situation in the game. So that's what I use to see out a game, okay? Moving on to, this is the formation I will use from the get-go. So when I get into the game, I will click left on the D-pad, I will go that across, and it will come up with defensive. I go to defensive in game. Defensive doesn't mean I'm going defensive and I want to hold out a lead. It's just what I go to as my go-to formation. So what do we go on here? We start with pressure on heavy touch. I've been trialing this quite a lot recently, guys. You guys know I normally go with balanced, and if I do want to have press, I normally go press after possession loss. I've been using pressure on heavy touch. What I feel like it does is it keeps your team shape really, really well, better than press after possession loss. Because with press after possession loss, everyone presses for those 7 seconds after you lose the ball. But with pressure on heavy touch, what happens is they will only press when the opponent is going to have a heavy touch. So if they're under pressure, or they play a bad pass or something like that, that's when your centre mid or your right attacking mid will step in and try and put pressure on the opponent. It keeps the team shape really well, but it still gives you the ability to press, which is really good. Width here, we go with 4. We keep that on the same. However, we do have higher depth here. We go for 5 on the depth. Reason for this is because I like to play quite an aggressive play style. I like to defend aggressively. I like to dictate the game. I like to hold the ball. I don't want the opponent to have the ball at any point if I can avoid it. Depth allows me to do that at 5. Now, sometimes I do run 3, but 5 is what I'm rocking at the minute. For you guys, you probably want to go anywhere between the 3 and the 5. I've tried running 7 depth with a particular team that I'm using. It's a little bit too aggressive, but if you've got, Team of the Year Van Dijk or Ferdinand at the back or something, you might be able to run a bit of a higher depth. We go for possession on the offensive style. I like that on the 4-2-3-1. The possession, the players show short. They never really look for the runs in behind. I'm looking at controlling the game here. That's how I do that in that formation. And then for the width, I'm going to go with 4 on this one. A little bit narrower than the one that sees out the game. The reason for this is because when I'm attacking in the 4-2-3-1 as my go-to formation, I want my cams to be fairly narrow and my width comes from my fullbacks, which you'll see in just a second. So that's how we run that. And then for players in box, I've actually changed this a little bit. We normally used to run 1 on this. That's what I did in my last 4-2-3-1 formation guide. At the minute, though, I am using 3. Again, with the way team presses and whatnot, it's actually quite hard to hold the ball in certain situations. So sometimes I just want to look for that pass into the box to try and get that first-time fake shot, that drag back, and look for that shot. That's kind of my thought process there. In terms of the instructions on this one, a little bit different. I've gone back to balanced fullbacks and overlap. You can run balanced fullback, guys, if you are really, really struggling to create chances. It will create you more chances 100%. You cannot give the ball away in the middle of the park and in the opponent's half. You've got to make every attack count. It does leave you open at the back 100%, okay? It will do. A lot of you guys will say, yeah, but I can go up and then right on the D-pad to go to attacking fullbacks. Yeah, but that's saying join the attack on every single attack. Balanced means they will make the decision whether to go forward or not. They do go forward a little bit more than staying back, but they make the decision. If you're struggling to score goals, try it. Don't give the ball away. If you do give the ball away, don't panic. Use your CDMs to fall back. Don't dive in. Don't panic tackle, and you can be all right with it. And make sure you do use your fullbacks, because a lot of people, you see your fullbacks and you go, nah, mate, you're all right. I'll just pass the ball into no man's land in the middle of the park and lose the ball. Same for the 2 CDMs here. We're going to go cut passing lane, stay back while attacking, and cover centre on there. Nothing's changed. And then for our cams on this one, they're all completely balanced. We don't touch them. We don't change them. We keep them as it is. And same for Ben Yedder. If you've got a striker here that's quicker, you've got Mbappe, you've got Team of the Year Ronaldo, normal Ronaldo, whatever it is, you might want to put these on getting behind. If you've got a better version of Ben Yedder, you might put him on getting behind. But for me, Ben Yedder, this one, he gets out muscled a lot, this 83 card. I don't want him to go and get him behind all the time. I want him to show short. I want him to get him behind on certain chances as well. And that's what he will do, being on balance. Now moving over to the 4-4-2, one of my favourite formations. Not something I've been using a massive amount of recently though, because of the teams that I'm using. When I use a very strong team, 4-4-2 is my go-to formation, okay? So with a weaker team, 4-2-3-1, the reason for that is it's a balanced formation. It creates you goals, but it also keeps you sound at the back. 4-4-2 will score you more goals, but it also will help you concede more goals. If I had a better team and I had the ability to defend a bit better and more aggressive, I would use the 4-4-2. So I use press after possession loss on my 4-4-2 at the minute, and in terms of width, I go with 4, and then in terms of depth, I go with 3. The reason for this is because I give the ball away more in the 4-4-2. I don't want my depth to be as high as I do on the 4-2-3-1, because when I give the ball away, there's less room in behind for the people to get in behind my back line in the 4-4-2, because I'm running a lower depth. When I'm running a higher depth, like I do in the 4-2-3-1, I don't give the ball away as much, so I have the ability to run that higher depth. If I do give the ball away, I can press quickly in the 4-2-3-1, and I can press quickly in the 4-4-2. but at least my centre-backs and my right-back and left-back aren't going to be bombed in behind by their striker. I'll go for offensive style. I'll go balanced here. The reason for that is a 4-4-2. I feel like it's a very free-flowing formation. You can go left to right. You can use the centre mids to drive forward. Possession doesn't work for me. Fast build-up's a little bit too aggressive as well. For width on this one, I'll go with 5. I do like to use my right mid and left mid quite a lot on this formation, and I will use them on the wings mainly more than coming in narrow, because that's kind of where they sit. Players in box, I go for 6. Players in box, you want this high. With the 4-4-2, you have 2 strikers. It's a great formation to look for those players inside the box, look for that quick pass, look for that first time fake shot, near post finish, to drag back the ball roll, whatever it is that you can execute. Aim in this formation, guys, is to get that ball from midfield to your striker inside that box and find the back of the net, all right? There's no point, passing it around and doing whatever you're doing with it. That's 4-2-3-1. This is a different game plan. This is a different way of playing FIFA, okay? Instructions, what do we run? We go ahead and run. Again, for our fullbacks, we're going to go stay back while attacking and overlap. I talk about the overlap a lot. The reason for this is when they come forward, I want them using the touch lines, all right? That's where my width will come from. It will come from my fullbacks mainly. And then for our centre defensive mid, we're going to have him on stay back while attacking and cover centre. And then for our next centre defensive mid, we're going to have him on get into the box for cross and cover centre. But attacking support here, we're going to go with balanced. The 4-4-2 is very good in creating chances. You want your centre mid, one of them, your better box-to-box midfielder. For me, in this case, it's De Jong. For you, if you're running like Kante and Pogba, it would be Pogba. You get the idea. You want the De Jong to go forward. You want him to be there making those darting runs. Think about Frank Lampard in real life, making those darting runs onto the edge of the box, looking there for the last little bit of the goal. For our wingers in the 4-4-2, I just leave them blank, to be honest with you. I don't change anything with them, and it works really, really well. And then for one striker on the 4-4-2, you're going to have one on getting behind. I have both of these here on completely balanced. Again, the reason for it is because of the players that I'm using. If I was using a main team, millions of coins worth, and I had, say, Ronaldo and Mbappe, I would have Mbappe on getting behind, and I would have the other one on balance. The other one on balance gives you that false 9 effect where he drops back, and then he can send the other striker on the getting behind run. I hope that makes sense. So one of them on getting behind, one of them on balance. Going on to our 3-5-2, this is the formation now which I will use if I am 3-1 down in the 80th minute and I need 2 goals and I need it quickly, all right? The 3-5-2 is what we touched on the other day in our formation guide. Make sure you check that out if you haven't already. We're going to go with 4 width and then we go with 5 depth. Again, we're looking at trying to get the ball back fairly quickly. And then in terms of defensive style, what do you want to go? It's your choice. For me, because it's going to be my balls to the wall formation, I will go with constant pressure here. And then for my offensive style, I'll go with fast build up, and I'll go with width of 5, and then I'll go with players in box of 7, and that's how it kind of sets up for me. The best thing about this 3-5-2 is that it gives you the attacking patterns of the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, because you've got those triangles in the middle of the park, but it gives you the effect of the 4-4-2 with the right mid and the left mid. It's really, really good formation to create lots of chances, create goals. It will leave you open at the back. I do have this as a formation to use from the start if I wanted to, but I wouldn't run the constant pressure. I would just run balanced on that front so it doesn't leave you as open at the back. But constant pressure definitely will do that for you. And then in terms of the instructions, same as what we touched on the other day. Cut passing lanes and balanced for the other one, and cover centre, just so that one CDM gets forward. You need one CDM to stay back while attacking. I have my wingers on getting behind this time. Because this is my balls to the wall formation, I need to get chances. I want them to get in behind that back line and try and create, a bit of trouble. For my centre attacking mid, I have them on stay forward. I did run free roam on the 3-5-2 formation that I ran the other day, but with this particular team, I prefer to have them exactly where I want them to be. And then again, you're going to have one on getting behind, one on balanced. Pick your preferred quicker striker as that getting behind, and the other one as that completely balanced, and that can do absolutely wonders for you. And that is what I am rocking at the minute, guys, and they work very, very well. So, when it comes to these custom tactics, you need to change them around to what suits you and what you like. Not everything will suit you here. Have a little play if something's not working for you. If you feel like you've not got enough options on, maybe drop the players in box on something. If you feel like you're not being fluid enough and not creating enough chances, change possession from possession to balanced. Maybe up the players in box. Get players involved. It's down to you guys to kind of tweak what you think. If you find that the width is too wide, narrow the width. Do what you need to do at the end of the day, and you will hopefully see some success from it. But then, guys, that is going to be the end of the video. If you did enjoy, please do let me know by dropping a like and subscribing to the channel. It will be greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you all very much for watching. Your support recently, as I do say, always has been insane. So thank you very much for that, and I will catch all of you guys tomorrow at 5 PM UK time for our next video. Bye-bye.